And the woman said, if you don't believe, she said, in fairies, I'll make you believe in them.
They tell you not to go in the woods without putting bread in your pocket. Take bread in the fairies to stay away from you.
And if you're ever going in the woods, they say, take a slice of bread with you. Because the fairies are evil and bread is blessed. They keep away from you.
They had a big garden, but they had it a good piece away from the house. But they wasn't there too long, they were looking at the garden. And up on the hill, there was the nicest sound of music and the laughing and getting on. You said the youngsters was over on the other side of the place. And she said, they are. And they always said that's what it was, fairies.
I've heard people being taken away by fairies. This old lady was taken away and she was gone for a few days. And when she came back, all her clothes was all tore up, probably in the woods, and she was all scratched up. And they say that the fairies took her.
Well, there was talk around the community about an older lady having been taken by the fairies and gone missing for a couple of days. And also a person who was, maybe 10 or 15 years older than me, supposedly he was missing for a couple of days and was taken by the fairies.
This old man, he was pretty old, I think, and he got up and said he had to go to the toilet. And God, they were waiting and waiting, and when they went out, he wasn't there. And they looked, and oh, by the Lord heavens. And everything then along in the area went looking for him the next day, and they found him up on a river, way up on the head of a river. And didn't know how he got there or anything, but they always said the fairies took him.
He said, I went out that night by the house, he said, and when I went out there was about 10,000 fairies around the house. They took me, he said, and they brought me away. And they left this fella behind, he said. The fella went up and got into bed. They left him behind, and they took me away, he said, and I'm out the whole summer. Oh, he said, if he hadn't got to drive him out, he said, I'd be out all the winter. I'm out there, he said, the whole summer, not a stitch of clothes on me. His beard grew down a foot long. They hardly knew. He said, I'm out there in the woods the whole summer, he said, and I couldn't get clear of him. I was surrounded by about 10,000 fairies, and I couldn't get away from him, he said, until that fella came back. One evening while they were at their tea, the child crawled out on the porch. She went out, there was no child there. And they searched and searched. Every man in the place was out searching for 11 days, and then they gave up. No sign of the child. So he's sitting down, and through the window he saw a man coming down an old woods path, and he had the child. He picked up the child about 6 miles from the settlement, sitting under a tree. Oh yes, the fairies was supposed that the fairies took the child and kept it alive. It couldn't happen any other way. There must be something supernatural happened for the child to be alive after 12 days, and it was their opinion that it was taken by the fairies.
No one around here really believes in fairies anymore. It's looked at now as a silly superstition, part of our past that's fading from memory.
One of the reasons why you don't see fairies around now, or so it goes, is that the coming of electricity and motor cars frighten them away.
It's said that fairies have a strong dislike of iron, and that's everywhere in our society today. So, maybe that's why nobody sees them anymore.